Nothing compares. Nothing compares to you. Hey, good looking. Welcome to Creative Freedom, your dose of education and inspiration to help you build a noble empire and live an inspired life without selling your soul. For a little over a year now, I've been interviewing creative entrepreneurs from around the world as part of the research for my new book. It's always fun for me to connect with other creatives, hear what's going on behind the scenes in your life and in your great work. But these conversations have been extra enjoyable because everything I'm learning will go a long way toward helping creative entrepreneurs just like you better understand what it takes to define and achieve success on your own terms. For example, there are 3 primary types of creative entrepreneurs: chaotic, linear, and fusion. Each type has its own set of strengths, and when you can build your business around your strengths, it takes a lot less effort on your part. The trouble is that each of these creative types also has blind spots that, until you actively do something about them, will continue to thwart your progress towards your goals. Today, I'm sharing with you the most common blind spots for each creative type so that you can develop an awareness and begin to get the support you need to build a profitable, sustainable business doing what you love. That means make good money, build a noble empire, live an inspired life without selling your soul. Chaotic creatives like to go with the flow, and you can find yourself feeling hampered or penned in with too much structure. That's not to say that you don't have your own ways of creating structure. Very often you have rituals, practices, and sometimes superstitious orders of operation that you must follow meticulously. I have a colleague who has to start every morning with a cup of coffee. Without it, she considers herself worthless for the rest of the day. Your biggest blind spot? You need to drive to deadlines and key performance markers, but can often get overwhelmed if the timeline feels too rigid or too restrictive. Or worse, if you feel pressured to perform, you often react by stepping away from a project for months at a time or even walking away completely. That means losing momentum and having to start or restart more often than is necessary for a healthy business. What helps? Accountability without pressure. Finding an accountability partner, a coach, or a mentor who understands your chaotic tendencies and then can nudge you forward without being overbearing or driving too hard is going to be your best help. Simply put, you're only going to do what you feel comfortable doing, and anyone who pushes you too hard will find themselves out of your inner circle with the quickness. Linear creatives typically don't have a problem meeting deadlines or hitting goals. Safety and security are the driving factors for most linears, so you can bet that just about anything that can be measured, tracked, or improved will be. Incessantly. One of my clients has a very linear husband who made a spreadsheet to track their leftovers. Now, if you're a linear, you probably think this is genius and you're wondering if you can get a copy of that spreadsheet so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. But your biggest blind spot? Over-systematizing and not giving yourself enough room to enjoy all the progress that you've been making. You're so focused on results that you forget to take the time to enjoy those results. What helps? Linears typically need permission to loosen up without guilt, and then trust your team to run the processes and systems that you've created to keep everything moving like the well-oiled machine that it is. The easiest way to do this is to schedule in some downtime on your calendar and actually take it. You may just find that stepping away from the creative machine for a period of time will give you a newfound level of clarity and maybe even give you some new ideas for your great work. Fusions. Fusions are a strange breed because you demonstrate an equal preference for both the linear and the chaotic realms. You self-proclaimed multi-passionate types can be good at so many things that it's not only hard to choose what to focus on, but it's also a challenge to let go of doing things long enough to train someone else. Why? Because we think it's faster and easier to just keep doing it ourselves. And yes, I am a fusion too, so I know these trials intimately. Our biggest blind spot? Perfectionism, coupled with comparisonitis. We are so busy comparing our work to everyone except ourselves that we're afraid it won't measure up. And this keeps us stuck and often prevents us from finishing projects or starting in the first place or even sharing our great work with the world. What helps? Taking consistent action with confidence, which means dropping judgment and just doing the thing until it's done and not comparing yourself to anyone else except yourself. I have a 30-hour rule that I've implemented in my own work, and I use it with my clients. Put your focus into a single project for 30 hours, and no judgment is allowed until the 30-hour mark is up. Just keep working. Then, once you've hit 30 hours, take a step back and see if it's turning out the way you want it. Now, this is not an invitation to compare yourself with others, just to see if you're on track with what you are trying to accomplish. As Sinead O'Connor likes to say, so now let me hear from you. Which creative entrepreneur type are you? How do you identify and deal with your blind spots in your business? Share your thoughts and ideas in the comments, and let's be a rising tide for everyone. If you liked this episode and want to be the first to see more just like it, then subscribe and share me around with your friends, because creative freedom softens hands while you do dishes. And there's always more where this came from. For inspiring songs, stories, and resources to help you build a noble empire and live an inspired life without selling your soul, come on, see what's shaking over at LisaRobbinYoung.com. You know you want to.